Hello everyone. We are here, on this beautiful blue planet. Most of us have never left Earth, except for the astronauts living on the space station, and the 12 men who once landed on the moon. Oh, it would be a big mistake to forget the special guests who have recently traveled into space on commercial space flights. According to statistics, as of February 2024, about 680 people have flown into space. All of them were amazed and overwhelmed by the breathtaking beauty of our planet when seen from outer space. Incredible! Our planet is the most unique and fortunate world in the universe, capable of supporting life. The universe contains trillions of planets, but none are quite like Earth. Instead, out there are strange and terrifying worlds, places you would never want to visit. So, take a seat, and let me tell you about some of the most bizarre and frightening worlds in the universe. Come on, let's go explore. First, let's take a quick tour around the solar system. The worlds near our planet are no longer strangers, especially since the twin Voyager spacecraft flew past the distant outer planets back in the 1980s. We've since confirmed that the solar system is home to 8 planets, and each one is a completely different world. Take Venus, for example. It's often called Earth's twin, yet it's also a true hellish world. Venus is the hottest planet in the solar system, with surface temperatures reaching up to 460 C, hot enough to melt lead. The atmospheric pressure there is 93 times higher than Earth's, and its thick atmosphere is mostly composed of carbon dioxide and nitrogen. Without a spacesuit supplying oxygen, you would die even before landing on Venus. On the other hand, the coldest planet in the solar system is Uranus, the 7th planet from the Sun. The surface temperature recorded there is -224 C, while Neptune, the farthest planet from the Sun, has a temperature of -217 C. This seems like a paradox, because in theory, the farther a planet is from the Sun, the colder it should be. Uranus is about 0.88 billion kilometers from the Sun, while Neptune is 4.5 billion kilometers away. Yet Neptune is warmer than Uranus. One possible explanation lies in Uranus's axial tilt, which is tilted at 97 degrees compared to the orbital plane. Besides that, the other planets in our solar system are also known for their extreme weather. Take Mars, for example. It's covered by thick, choking dust storms that can blanket the entire sky. Or Jupiter, home to the Great Red Spot, a massive storm that has been raging for over 300 years. In short, the Sun may be a gentle star, but the worlds that orbit it are anything but friendly. Except for Earth, every other planet has proven itself to be hostile to life. Now, let's leave the solar system and venture out to explore some of the strangest and most terrifying worlds scientists have ever discovered. HD 189733b, the planet famous for glass rain. This planet lies about 64 light-years away from Earth. From a distance, it appears like a stunning deep blue marble floating peacefully through space. But don't be fooled by its beauty. This planet is a nightmare world. HD 189733b is known as a hot Jupiter. Its radius is about 1.13 times that of Jupiter, meaning it's a giant gas planet. If you were unfortunate enough to visit this world, you'd regret it instantly. Not only would you be blasted by winds roaring at 8,700 kilometers per hour, but you'd also be shredded to pieces by razor-sharp glass rain. The planet's striking blue color comes from silicates in its atmosphere. When heated by the planet's deadly temperature of 1,300 C, these silicates form glass particles, creating a storm of molten glass that rains sideways in deadly gales. Next up is TOI 849b, a stripped-down world. Discovered in 2020 by NASA's Transiting Exoplanet Survey satellite tests. TOI 849b is the exposed core of a former gas giant, a planet that has lost nearly all of its atmosphere. This exoplanet is located about 736 light-years from us and orbits its host star so closely that a full year on this planet lasts only 19.2 hours. But don't get too excited about constant birthday parties. Its atmosphere has been completely destroyed by its star. Without an atmospheric shield, the planet is scorched by intense heat, reaching temperatures of up to 1,530 C. What makes TOI 849b one of the strangest exoplanets ever discovered is its bizarre hybrid nature. Although it has just 32% the radius of Jupiter, it was originally a Jupiter-like gas giant. But after losing its atmosphere, all that remains is a dense, rocky core instead of swirling gases. In fact, TOI 849b is the largest rocky world ever discovered, about 40 times more massive than Earth. Might even be the first naked planet ever found. The leftover core of a gas giant whose outer layers have been completely stripped away. WASP-1b is the planet swelling in a death spiral. Located about 1,393 light-years away from us lies WASP-1b, a massive gas giant. Imagine it as an enormous, oversized egg. It has a radius 1.79 times that of Jupiter and a mass 1.39 times greater, truly a colossal planet. Scientists estimate that this planet has only about 3 million years left to live before it's completely destroyed. WASP-1b is spiraling inward, heading toward a fiery doom at the hands of its host star yellow dwarf. Its orbital period is just 1.1 Earth days. Studies show that WASP-1b is now so close to its star that it's being stretched and distorted by tidal forces. At the same time, intense stellar radiation is causing the planet to puff up and slowly disintegrate. Turns to be the darkest exoplanet. Are you afraid of the dark? If not, welcome to Scariest, because this planet is incredibly dark. You can barely make out its shape. Light just seems to fall into it without bouncing back. Identified by NASA's Kepler Space Telescope in 2011. Scariest is a gas giant with a radius 1.27 times that of Jupiter. It orbits a star about 750 light-years away in the direction of the constellation Draco. And it is the darkest planet ever discovered. It reflects less than 1% of any light that hits it. It's darker than the blackest lump of coal, darker than the black acrylic paint you might use for art. It's almost ridiculous how dark this planet is. I have no idea how we'd find our way if we ever set foot on Scariest, but let's hope you're lucky enough to make it back. KLT-9b, the hottest exoplanet. If you're someone who loves winter and watching snowfall, then KLT-9b is definitely not for you, because this planet is insanely hot. This ultra-hot Jupiter-like exoplanet is so scorching that it's actually hotter than many stars in the universe. KLT-9b orbits its star at an extremely close distance, heating its surface to over 4,000 C. So hot that molecules are torn apart, and even atomic iron and titanium are found in its atmosphere. A year on this planet lasts less than a day and a half. Using data from NASA's Spitzer Space Telescope, researchers found that the extreme heat on the planet's day side rips apart hydrogen molecules. These molecules can only recombine when they drift to the relatively cooler, permanently dark night side before being torn apart again as they return to the scorching side. HR 5183b, the planet with the strangest orbit. HR 5183b isn't in any rush to orbit its star. Discovered in 2019, this giant planet 3 times more massive than Jupiter takes about 74 years to complete a single orbit. But what really makes it bizarre is its wild, unpredictable orbit. Unlike the smooth, elliptical paths we see in most planets, HR 5183b drifts on the outskirts of its system before diving inward at incredible speed, passing alarmingly close to its host star, then slingshots back out again. Because of its chaotic motion, scientists have nicknamed it the Whiplash Planet. It's also been compared to a wrecking ball, capable of wreaking havoc on any other planet in its system that dares to orbit in a more conventional, peaceful way. K218b, where swimming could make you evaporate. K2218b has a radius to 0.61 times that of Earth and a mass more than 8 times greater. For years, it has been one of the top candidates for an Earth-like planet. So, in 2019, there was huge excitement when scientists announced that water had been detected in its atmosphere. For the first time, we had found a rocky planet orbiting in the habitable zone of its star, where liquid water could potentially exist on the surface. But before we start dreaming about diving into alien oceans, it's worth noting that K218b might actually be more like a mini Neptune and far less friendly. These kinds of planets often have thick hydrogen atmospheres, a deep water layer, and a rocky or iron core, where the pressure and temperature are far too extreme to support life as we know it. New research suggests that K218b might exist in a third category, planets that look like gas-rich mini-Neptunes, but are actually rocky worlds covered by superheated, where water exists in a strange phase between liquid and gas, beneath a thick atmosphere of water vapor. HATP-7b, the scorching Jupiter, dark as coal, with sapphire skies. HATP-7b is larger than Jupiter, and has an orbital tilt of 108 relative to its host star, meaning it orbits nearly on a polar plane. It's extremely close to its star, completing one full orbit in less than 3 Earth days. In fact, it orbits more than 20 times closer to its star than Earth is to the Sun. Daytime temperatures on HATP-7b reach over 2,200 C, hotter than many stars in the universe. This makes it part of a class known as ultra-hot Jupiters. But beyond the heat, HATP-7b is also one of the darkest planets ever observed, as dark as charcoal, absorbing over 97% of the visible light that hits it. Since the first exoplanets were discovered in 1992, more than 5,700 have now been confirmed, and the number keeps growing. A wide variety of strange and fascinating worlds have been found, orbiting stars far beyond our solar system. It is estimated that there may be around 300 million potentially habitable worlds in our galaxy alone, but I'll save those for another list. What truly keeps me wondering about exoplanets is this: why does life exist only on Earth? Why haven't we found any other planet where life exists? There could be many reasons, perhaps sheer luck, or a miraculous arrangement by nature. Either way, we are incredibly fortunate to have been born on this planet, to live on a world that offers just the right conditions for life. So let's appreciate the life we have. In the end, apart from life and death, there is no problem that cannot be solved, so stay positive, and always look forward to a brighter tomorrow. Starship, the dream of conquering Mars. SpaceX is a pioneering aerospace company founded by billionaire Elon Musk in 2002. Over more than 2 decades of development, SpaceX has achieved remarkable success and made enormous technological strides, most notably in the creation of partially reusable rockets such as the Falcon 1, Falcon 9, and Falcon Heavy. The company has also successfully developed advanced spacecraft, including Dragon and Crew Dragon, which have been launched into orbit using their own rockets. Today, SpaceX is widely regarded as the world's leading private space company and a trusted partner of NASA. Since 2019, SpaceX has been transporting astronauts to and from the International Space Station (ISS). The company has also received contracts to develop the landing system and lunar lander for NASA's Artemis mission, which aims to return humans to the Moon. Even the task of deorbiting the ISS has fallen into the hands of billionaire Elon Musk. It is undeniable that private space companies play an important role in humanity's journey to conquer and explore space. The Falcon Heavy rocket, successfully launched in 2018, is one of the most powerful rockets in the history of U.S. space exploration since the Apollo era. Falcon Heavy is based on the technology of the Falcon 9 rocket. It is a super heavy launch vehicle, standing 70 meters tall, and partially reusable. Designing reusable rockets and spacecraft is a major breakthrough in space science. If you can recover and reuse your spacecraft, the cost will be significantly reduced. To illustrate, the Atlas V rocket, operated by ULA and used only once, costs around $8,100 per kilogram of payload. In contrast, the latest Falcon 9 rocket from SpaceX costs about $2,300 per kilogram, much cheaper than a non-reusable rocket. While Falcon 9 can carry 16 tons into orbit, Falcon Heavy can carry 85% more payload, with only 45% higher cost. Lower launch costs mean that anyone wanting to send something into space will have to spend less money. This benefits scientific organizations like NASA, which frequently use launch services to send people and cargo into orbit. Cheaper launches mean lower mission costs. NASA can then redirect resources to invest in other missions, improve technologies, and train more scientists and experts. As a result, productivity and efficiency will improve. Therefore, building more powerful rockets like Falcon Heavy can help reduce launch costs even further. In addition, Elon Musk has set a goal for his space company to establish a permanent human presence on Mars. To do this, we need a rocket that is stronger, can carry more kilograms, but at a lower cost. And all those hopes have been placed on one mission and one system, Starship. So, what exactly is the Starship System? Starship is a super heavy lift launch vehicle. A super heavy lift launch vehicle means it can carry over 50 tons into low Earth orbit. But in reality, Starship is expected to carry up to 150 tons into orbit. This means that, if successful, the rocket could carry enough material to build the 420-ton International Space Station with just 3 launches. The first idea of Starship was introduced in 2005, when Elon Musk called it the BFR Big Falcon rocket. The ultimate goal is for SpaceX to use this rocket to send humans to Mars, with each trip carrying at least 100 passengers, aiming to fulfill the dream of colonizing the Red Planet. But before that, it could be used to launch satellites, send humans and cargo to the moon, or even support space tourism. To achieve this, the rocket needs a large spacecraft section and a powerful booster stage. The Starship launch system includes 2 stages. The lower booster stage, called Super Heavy, is 71 meters tall. The upper stage, the Starship spacecraft, which carries people and cargo, is 50 meters tall. When stacked together on the launch tower, the system reaches a total height of 121 meters. About half the height of the Eiffel Tower and weighs around 3,000 tons. With this structure, it is even larger than the Saturn V rocket used in the Apollo missions, which was 111 meters tall. Starship also surpasses NASA's SLS Space Launch System, making it the largest and most powerful rocket in the world today. Starship's power comes from 33 Raptor engines, which use liquid oxygen and methane as fuel. When fully fueled, it can lift a massive payload into orbit. The expected capacity is 150 tons to low Earth orbit. That's an enormous payload. Such a feat could revolutionize the way we explore the solar system. Starship has a diameter of 9 meters, which means it can carry larger equipment at lower cost. For example, the James Webb Space Telescope was launched into space in a folded form. It had to be unfolded in orbit, and the deployment process required extremely high precision. This complex engineering, along with high manufacturing costs, made James Webb worth up to $10 billion. But with the large internal volume of Starship, this problem could be easily solved. Its 6.5-meter wide monolithic primary mirror could be placed inside the rocket without needing to fold. By taking advantage of the spacious cargo bay, James Webb would require fewer folds, which would save a significant amount of money on design, and also shorten the time needed to align the mirror once in orbit. As a result, scientists would gain more weeks for scientific observation. Another impressive feature of the Starship system is that both stages will be reusable. After boosting the second stage into orbit, After boosting the second stage into orbit, the first stage will return to the launch site and land vertically, caught by the launch tower, allowing full reuse. The second stage will also eventually return to Earth and land gently. This makes Starship truly unique. With SpaceX's Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy rockets, only the first stage and the nose cone are reusable. As mentioned earlier, full reusability significantly reduces launch costs, and SpaceX will become the only company in the world capable of fully reusing a launch system. Lower costs, simpler design, and higher scientific payload capacity are some of Starship's biggest advantages. But the ultimate goal is to establish a long-term human presence in space, with Mars as the next destination. This is Elon Musk's lifelong dream and the guiding mission of SpaceX, to help humanity settle on the Red Planet. We've already talked about how powerful Starship is and how it can carry 150 tons of cargo into orbit. But given the vast distance between Earth and Mars, can Starship carry enough fuel for such a long journey? The truth is, even with reduced payload to travel faster, Starship doesn't have enough fuel to fly directly to Mars. But SpaceX has a brilliant solution: refueling in space. After launching into orbit, Starship will be refueled by tanker ships, which will replenish the fuel burned during launch. However, that's just for the trip to Mars. What about the return journey? How will Starship refuel on Mars? The simplest method is to launch several fuel-carrying Starships to Mars first, then wait for the crewed mission to arrive, and refuel for the return flight. Another option is to produce fuel directly on Mars, using methane and liquid oxygen. In theory, both components can be extracted from Martian resources. In principle, Starship can travel across the solar system faster, because it won't need to slingshot around planets for gravity assists. Instead, it can simply fire its powerful Raptor engines. Because of this, Starship promises to open up exciting new possibilities, allowing humanity to assert its presence in space. Elon Musk hopes to reduce launch costs to a minimum, and eventually, the price of a one-way ticket aboard Starship could be around $100,000. That's a price many people might be able to afford. But this is only a one-way ticket, and for now, it's unclear how SpaceX will protect passengers during the long journey from space radiation. Every great dream begins with small, determined steps. At present, Starship is still in its testing phase. As of November 2024, it has undergone 6 test flights, with success achieved during the 5th test. That 5th test flight took place on October 13, 2024, from the Starbase launch facility in Texas. The mission made history, as the Super Heavy booster stage landed successfully and was caught by the chopsticks, while the Starship upper stage landed in the Indian Ocean. The 6th test launch took place on November 20, 2024. This flight was highly anticipated by followers around the world, with hopes of seeing the rocket once again land gently on the launch tower. Billionaire Elon Musk and former President Donald Trump watched the launch live together. However, history did not repeat itself, and viewers were left disappointed. After the familiar countdown, the 33 Raptor engines on the Super Heavy booster ignited, lifting the rocket into space. About 3 minutes after launch, the Super Heavy booster and the Starship upper stage successfully separated. But unlike the 5th flight, the booster did not land back on the launch tower. Instead, it descended into the ocean. Live video showed the booster landing on the sea, toppling over and exploding into a fireball on the surface of the water. Roughly 40 minutes after launch, the Starship upper stage began its fiery re-entry into Earth's atmosphere, enduring extreme heat. SpaceX intentionally subjected Starship to a more intense re-entry, removing over 20,000 heat shield tiles to test the vehicle in harsh thermal and pressure conditions. 65 minutes after launch, the Starship upper stage landed in the Indian Ocean still intact. It could be said that the 6th test flight was a setback for Starship. So far, the fifth test flight remains the most successful, with both the Super Heavy booster and Starship completing successful re-entry. The 4 earlier test flights included: the first test flight, on April 20, 2023, saw 3 of the 33 booster engines fail to ignite. The rocket later lost control and self-destructed. The second flight, on November 18, 2023, went farther. The booster and upper stage separated as planned. However, the booster exploded before landing, and the upper stage self-destructed, even though the rocket had successfully reached space. The third test, on March 14, 2024, partially succeeded. The upper stage reached space again but did not return to Earth intact. The fourth flight, on June 6, 2024, reached an altitude of over 200 kilometers and traveled at more than 27,000 kilometers per hour. Both stages landed gently in the ocean. Despite all this, I still believe Starship is a launch vehicle full of potential. There is no success without failure. Future tests may involve more tumbles, even more explosions. But those are unavoidable risks. If we don't take risks, nothing new will ever be created. So let's be patient and keep watching. It may take a few more years before Starship is ready to carry people and cargo into orbit. But in the meantime, our job is to keep curiosity alive, to keep learning, and to keep exploring. Thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and subscribe to support the channel. Goodbye, and see you next time.